everyone, and welcome to our 70th episode of the Londonderry View. It's been about 6 years, and we never guessed that we'd be on number 70 tonight, but we have some really special guests with us and some wonderful topics to share. So first of all, we have Erin with us, who is our training director for our cable studio, which has all kinds of incredible things going on. And then we have Margo and Steve with us that are from the Pickleball Taskforce tonight, and they're going to share all kinds of exciting things that are finally going to be happening in Londonderry. And then Debbie and I as your host tonight, and our Bonnie will be with us the next time. So lots of hugs out to our Bonnie too. So Deb, why don't I turn it over to you?
Well, we wanted to say that, of course, everyone knows that Veterans Day is on Saturday. So we just wanted to give a shout out to all the veterans out there, your families who do so much. Of course, it's all part of the whole structure is veterans and their families. We've got a lot of different activities going on, I'm sure, around town. The only one I'm very familiar with is the breakfast for the veterans at the high school, which I believe is tomorrow. So I don't remember what the time was, so I should have said that.
8:30, but yeah.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that everybody gets out and gets their breakfast, and that's great. So hopefully we'll have a good outing on that. So.
Thank you. We thank everyone for their service and their
very
families.
much.
Thank you so much. We wouldn't be there. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. So we really thank you.
I'm a proud mother of an Air Force. 16 years he's been in, so he's a lifer. So. And I believe you
I am.
That,
yep, I am ex-Air Force.
Ex-Air, and my son's Air Force.
Yep. Wow, my goodness, thank you. You know, yeah, we never know who's sitting next to us or what or who's involved in their lives. So thank you so much. But and Erin, so tell us about the podcast world and everything you've been doing with that.
Sure. Well, so for those of you who don't know, we have a new podcast studio here. It's a little separate from this studio for people who maybe just want to record some audio, maybe are a little camera shy. They can do that and record it on whatever topic interests them. But they also have the option, being a TV studio, to do video with it as well and put it on YouTube or wherever they want to. But I myself was inspired to start my own podcast because in our 24-hour news cycle, it's very important to be informed with the news, but I find that it's so negative and it's always focused on the bad things going on or the negative things going on, and I really wanted to be able to highlight some of the good that goes on in the world, because I know that there is a lot of good that goes on every day and it's just not talked about or shared as much. So the podcast is called Dose of Good, to give you like your little dose of good for the day.
That's great. That's great.
And I feature nonprofit organizations, but I would also love to have individuals on if they are doing kind and good things in their community. So far I've had on Big Brothers Big Sisters for the first episode, which is available now, and then recorded the second episode with community caregivers of Greater Derry, and then have some other organizations lined up. So it's just really nice to see what these people are doing day in and day out to impact other people's lives and make the world a better place. So hopefully people will enjoy listening to it and hearing some of those more positive stories. So.
And there is a lot of positive out there.
Yes.
We get bombarded by all this negative. So it's really nice to be able to hear some of the positive things, not only in our own town, but all around.
Definitely,
Yeah, that's How long does an average podcast go for?
Well, in me listening to podcasts, they can be pretty much any length you want, because I'm striving for mine to be about half an hour, but if it goes over that, that's fine. But there are podcasts I listen to that are 2 hours. Right. So really there's no limit on the length that it could be, as long as you can keep people's interest for 2 hours. So.
You know, it's such a different world, and an incredible world now, because where we would listen to music when we were doing things, like I know with my daughters, that they'll have a podcast and they'll say, oh, Mom, put a podcast on. Well, what will we listen to? Well, how about one about money or fashion or new movies or Disney? And it's just people like we are now, but just like you're set up in there, I can picture it now. And I know you're going to put some things on the blue screen for us too. And they're just sitting around talking, but I mean, people are really mesmerized by it, you know?
And they do have them on, and I guarantee they have a pickleball podcast,
they
have them on every topic you could imagine.
Isn't that? And you've listened to them too then.
Yep.
Now, where is it that we can hear it? It's on.
Good
So
point.
there's multiple places that you can go, because if you have an Apple phone, there's Apple Podcasts, so it's available there. Spotify also has podcasts, so it's available there as well. And then you can get them on YouTube as well.
Okay.
So,
Oh, that's good to know.
and I'll put all that information in the description of this show, so if people want to
Perfect.
find it. So,
That'd be great.
yeah.
That's exciting, though.
Yeah.
You know? And then, how do you get it uplifted to Spotify, or is it something you join part
It's
of it?
been a
or-
process that I've learned where there's different platforms that you can subscribe to. The one we're using is Transistor, and basically that's where you upload the audio file to and are able to put in all the like information that you want to include, and then it just has to get approved by Apple and Spotify, but then they by using that platform, it kind of automates it for you, so you can just schedule it and it will automatically post to those platforms on whatever date you choose.
Nice.
So the initial part of it is a little bit of legwork, but then once it's set up and approved, it's quite easy to do each new episode. So
And you're offering it to our residents?
definitely, yeah. So we encourage you to
spread the
come
word.
in and make your own podcast.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's exciting. I know they have them on sports like pickleball and
Mm-hmm.
you know, all kinds of things. I guess in years past we would listen to books on tape, which people still do. But
Yeah.
now this is the the next level to get good information out there.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful that you're just keeping it positive. You know, the happy stuff that we have to
Yeah. I love
remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when we started the Londonderry View. Someone said because of the name, oh, is it going to be the negative? Oh, you're going to be the negative. And we never discuss it. We just just follow suit with that.
Yeah.
That, it's just the good, the positive, the good people. And that's what keeps us happy doing it too. And having people like you on that are volunteers, on our pickleball task force. They had to come up, step up, and take such a big task on too. So I guess you're going to have a spot for them maybe.
Yeah,
on the-
definitely.
on the
If they
pod.
want to, they are more than welcome.
Yeah, it's so exciting that you set all this up, that you saw a need and something
Yep.
new that you could bring in. Have any of the school-age children or anything, will they be able to access
So some
it?
of the kids in my club have done their own little podcasts, mostly just for fun, but some of them do have an interest. Actually, Ryan, who is doing the audio for us today, expressed interest in making a podcast with his friend. His schedule's a little busy right now, but hopefully he'll still have time to do that at some point. So.
Isn't that great? And the volunteerism, again, we have Al, our retired fire chief, and then we have Ryan here with us tonight volunteering for
Yep.
middle school, and it's pretty wonderful to see,
Yeah.
the importance of that too. So anything else we can think of on podcasts?
I think that is a good overview.
Okay, good, wonderful. Well, thank you, Erin, so
Well,
much.
thank
We
you for
appreciate it.
allowing me to speak about it. I appreciate it.
It's
So-
nice to see you in front of the camera
It
instead of
is.
always behind the
It's
camera.
different, yeah, it's different to be on this side, but it's nice, so thank you.
Oh, that's great then. All right. So now we're going to learn a lot about the sport of pickleball. And I mentioned the Pickleball Task Force that's been formed in town. And Margo and Steve are here to share as two representatives of that task force. So we're going to turn it over to you.
Go ahead, me or you?
Well, we were elected to the task force several months ago, and our job is to try to bring pickleball to the town of Londonderry. It's such a great sport. We have loved it ourselves for
Yeah.
about 4 years now, and once we started playing, it's such a great way to bring people together outside, mostly. That's what we're proposing for the town of Londonderry.
Right.
All ages can play, all activity levels can play. It's so fun. We love it.
And it used to be something more like, I think, like back when I first, started with the town, it was more like our seniors would, Bonnie, I wish Bonnie was here, because Bonnie was
She
playing
played
it all
it,
the
yeah,
time,
yep.
and would describe the exercise and the intensity of it. But unfortunately, they had to go all over, into Litchfield, the sports all over, but not here in their own town,
Right.
to play pickleball. And I am a firm believer, Londonderry leads the way, so how can we not have pickleball
Right,
courts?
exactly.
We have tennis courts, we have baseball fields, softball fields, and now we need to bring in what our residents are asking for of all ages, because now it's Ryan's age. It's you
Yeah.
two playing it. Our town manager has played it.
That's
the
true.
number one female in the world is 16 years old.
Oh, wow.
And she's
is
been
a
number one for about
phenom.
3 years now.
Yeah, she
she's
went
been
professional, I
phenomenal.
think, at 11 or 12.
Yeah, turned pro.
And,
And the number one male athlete in pickleball is Ben. He's 24, I think. He's
It's
and
not an older person's sport.
yeah,
at
no
all.
longer.
But
Anymore
it's
at
all
all.
ages. You can have on the same team a grandfather playing with his granddaughter.
Yeah.
that's a good example. Anna Lee was trained by her grandfather, and that he is her warm-up partner for a lot of tournaments. So if her mixed partner or her singles player is not available, her granddad will go out with her on the court, and so there's 2 generations there.
That's
3,
nice.
you know. So it's, and when we play, we always expect to win, but we don't. And we'll go up against an 80-year-old who knows a heck of a lot more about it than we do, and they just know. You know, the person that taught us is Bill. He's 74 now, I think, and he was more of our mentor. And he's, you know, he's deceiving. He looks slow to move along and get there, but he knows how to play, and he has a maturity of the court that he knows what he's doing. It's really
Maybe he can't
impressive.
run as fast, but you can play the game to your own limitations.
Right.
And you can, if you have the control of the paddle, you can place the ball where you want it and let your younger partner run and get it.
Right. And he does.
Yes, yes.
I'm the younger partner. So
Isn't that boy?
It seems like this past year, it has really exploded.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, I mean, it's just this past
So,
year for some reason. It just
think-
everywhere you look, it's pickleball. Pickleball.
Right.
Absolutely.
I didn't even know what pickleball was a year and a half ago. So I mean,
That's a good
Interestingly,
point.
however,
Yeah.
it was invented in 1965
right.
on
It's been
Bainbridge
around.
Island in Washington State.
so see, it's been around for a
We
while.
actually just
We actually
went there,
went there.
as a pilgrimage.
did?
to
Yeah, we went
where,
there and played, so.
Pickleball was created. We got to play about a mile and a
mile
half from
from-
where
They
the
call it-
first game was
Yeah, they call
created.
it Court 1. It was a guy's backyard, and the kids were bored, and he made paddles out of plywood,
Oh
and,
my
and they
Did you
found
say he
it.
came out of the war and he was playing, or that
I'm
from
sorry?
service? Was he in the service?
I don't know.
Oh,
It was
oh,
a
oh.
family gathering,
Oh
and it
my
was a
goodness, okay.
multi-generational group, and the kids were bored, and they had an old badminton court in the backyard, and they made the net lower, and they made paddles out of plywood, and they found a wiffle ball, and they made up the rules as they went along.
Right.
That's pretty
And
neat.
then from there, they invited some friends down the street to play, and then they brought it back to their winter home, in Washington State, and then they told 2 people, and they told 2 people, and it just grew, and it became
Propagated.
popular in some
Yeah.
colleges. And now, like Deb said, it's really just exploded,
really
and it's
has.
Well,
So-
it's a good word
It is.
for
Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
So think of it this way. In 2016, there was about 40,000 players playing pickleball in Florida. 90% of the people were in Florida and Arizona. There are now about 40 million in the U.S. So in less than 8 years, it's
You really called it then.
And
Yeah,
that's
it's huge.
It's all the
Wow.
not just locally towns and municipalities, but now they've got the leagues. They've got
Oh, yeah.
you know,
It's
Brady
huge.
bought a thing. I mean, that was
Exactly.
a big thing. Brady
Right.
has a league.
Ready?
Right.
And
But it's
LeBron
just
James is
great.
another
Yeah,
owner.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's like they really are just like
Yeah.
I can't believe how
And
powerful
what's
it is.
so
now.
great, we love, because every time we travel, we put our sneakers and our paddle in our
Oh,
bag,
my
and we are
goodness.
prepared to play wherever.
This is a
And we
good
have
segue
played-
into gear.
Oh,
So
yeah,
what do you
perfect.
need to play? You need a
That's
pair of
right.
sneakers. They can be anything. They can be hack-around shoes that you wear in the garden. Doesn't matter. And then you need a paddle and a ball, and that's it.
And
the-
it really is a wiffle ball.
yeah, it's a
Yeah,
wiffle ball. If you
classic
notice,
ball.
that one is an indoor ball. See the size of the holes?
Oh, the holes
yeah.
are.
The holes are
yeah.
different.
Oh, and they're smaller. on
These are
that
these 3 are outdoor balls. Those 2 are indoor balls, and that's because the wind affects these balls less when you play outdoors. So, and there's actually numbers. There's 26 of those and 40 of
40
these, et
holes,
cetera,
yeah.
et cetera. But we have a diverse group of paddles that range from $30 to $200. And you can start out with something like that pink one there. That was, I think, your first paddle.
That was.
That
Oh
Bill
my
gave you, right?
Yeah, well, sold it to
So
me.
very small money.
Yep.
So you can get
Very
started,
fair.
and the balls are pennies. Well, not pennies, but you can buy 6 for a couple of bucks, that type of thing. And then progressively, they're more and more expensive.
You must have to have it fitted to your grip, like just like
No,
no,
no.
you don't.
You can
And-
put grips on it to your taste, but
It
I
doesn't
take
matter?
mine right out of the
Package.
box.
Yeah. See these.
This is my actual paddle
So
that I'm
does-
playing with currently, and you hold it like a handshake,
Yeah.
and you just play. We'll do a demo a little bit later, but it's usually a composite or a graphite material,
or
Makes a little
carbon
popping
face,
noise.
yeah.
Do they come in sizes?
They do?
Yes, they
Grip?
do.
All right.
There's
Sorry,
the
go ahead.
grips do come in different sizes,
Okay.
but if this isn't comfortable for you, you can
don't-
overwrap it.
So
Okay.
grab
just
that
like
one.
any other
That's one of
paddle.
mine, and that has an overwrap on it. You can see it's a
Oh,
little slightly
interesting.
bigger. I like mine overwrapped because then
Feel
I'm.
that, Deb. That's
wow.
neat. Wow.
Then-
In your
It looks bigger,
experience,
you
does
can-
a
It's-
more
it's like
expensive
3 layers on
paddle
there.
Yeah.
make you play better, or
No.
comfortable.
Okay.
No, you can
There
really
might
stink with an
be,
expensive paddle. There's no.
Or you can play well with an inexpensive
Or you can play
one,
with it, yeah.
if you want to look at it
All right,
this
so
way.
I'm going to interrupt. I'm sorry.
No, good. This
They
is
did
good.
there's a podcast out there called The Kitchen, and that's what they call it.
And that's part of the.
Yep. And Ben, the kitchen, the two guys that run that, challenged Ben Johns and the owner of MLP, Major League Pickleball, to a match. And they said they can win. They're both like 5-0 players, which is high, and Ben is great. But he ended up playing with a frying pan, and he still beat them.
Oh my God! They wanted
Oh my
to bring his game level
They were trying to bring
down.
his game level down. They
And-
made him play left-handed and right-handed, and then they gave him a frying pan, and he was still
He's-
outplayed
yeah.
And
anybody.
he's still.
Yeah,
I,
I mean, he-
believe it was a cast iron frying
It was
pan,
a
wasn't
yeah,
So
it was like
heavy
it was
and-
heavy as
yeah.
one of those
Wow.
cast irons. Yeah,
Unbelievable.
but it was really funny to watch because it's on YouTube too. by
Oh,
the
you
way.
can watch
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
so that'd
So
be kind
it
of
was
neat.
comical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we can put a clip up on the back there.
So the other thing I
that's
brought
great.
here is really this, which looks kind of weird, but so I had one of the things I wanted to say is that you don't have to be 100% to play.
Tip-top physical shape.
So I had both hips replaced in 21. So, and I'm moving well, but this goes on the end of the paddle for those people that can't reach, and they just picks up the ball for you, so you don't
So
have
you
to
don't have
bend
to
over
bend
as
all the way
much.
down to the ground.
And I actually,
nice.
who got me this? Did you get me
I did,
this? Yeah, you got me this. And I used it a little while because I couldn't bend. I mean, my hips were gone.
Yeah.
So, but it turned out once I got surgery and replaced everything, and kudos to my doctor, it messed up my grip, so I got rid of it.
Oh.
But I still bring it out
Didn't
for
need it
other
anymore,
people. I
but
didn't
yeah.
need it, but it really
It
is.
just fits on the bottom, and
Yep.
then you can.
Right.
And then you have that much
Whoops.
extension
That's all
to
right.
get your
A little
to
extension
pick
to
up
But
your
get
ball.
it
the
down.
point
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
someone with a knee replacement or a bad hip or a bad shoulder can still play. You know,
That's
you play within yourself, of course, but you don't need to be a top-notch athlete. Margo and I both come from racquetball. So I was a sponsored player by eForce for 30 years. And I played a lot of tournaments and a lot of racquetball, and I was pretty good. I was number 5 in the
Yeah, you
state,
were
and I was nationally
sponsored.
rated. But I can't play at that competition level anymore, not
Right.
in racquetball. And that's very frustrating. So
30 years,
Yeah.
I turned to pickleball, and you know, I'm not that good, but we have
But we're
fun
decent,
and we
we're
can compete.
competitive,
And
yeah.
you know, we play tournaments, and
Yeah.
sometimes we do well, and sometimes not so well. But you still get that competitive juices flowing, and it
yeah.
really.
And exercise. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah,
cardiovascular.
yeah.
I think
Yeah, there's a lot of
a lot
benefits.
of our viewers might want to know what's the difference between pickleball and tennis, besides the size of the court.
Okay, so that's a good question.
Yeah.
What you see a lot of new people playing tennis. The tennis players come over to pickleball, and they stand at the back court. And you've seen tennis, baseline to baseline. They do a lot of drives and a lot of low ground strokes. Pickleball is played at the net. You hit the serve from the back court, you hit this return, and then you charge the net. And you're up at the what they call the kitchen line, or the non-volley zone. And it's 14 feet from one side to the other. So the non-volley zone is 7 feet on either side of the net. And so what they're doing is dinking, and we'll show this later, is it's really just a little soft shot trying to get your opponent to move into a different location to get them out of position. And it's very slow until it isn't. And
As
then,
soon as somebody makes a little bit of an error and the
Right.
ball goes up a little high, your opponent is going to pounce on that.
yeah, and they call them firefights because it is
the-
you and I,
the
14
ball
feet
is
apart, hitting it as
fast.
hard as we can
Yes.
directly at each other.
Wow.
And it's really fun, and it really is fun.
Some people
it-
might
it-
think fun is this weird,
Yeah.
swing, but we love it, and
it's
it's very
fast.
engaging,
Wow.
and I find myself smiling so much when I'm playing because
Yeah.
I'm having so much fun. I love this game, and this is what we want to bring to the town.
Right.
This ability to play with all sorts of different people, and we have met so many people
So many
over
nice
the country
people.
because we travel
Right.
and we bring our paddles and we play. We've made friends that are still in contact with us.
We've played with the pros.
We did play with the
in
pros.
Dreamland
that's
when we were
right.
in Texas
Yeah.
last March. Was it March? We went to this place called Dreamland, which is, it's a pilgrimage, another place that we wanted to go to. And on the court right next to us were 4 pros practicing for the Austin tournament.
Right.
Oh, wow.
And and we saw them the next day at the tournament. So it was like,
And
it was really kind of fun.
They're not to the point yet where they're so famous they can't, lower
Right.
themselves to talk to you.
Right.
They're super friendly. They're outgoing. We pass them and they're, what
Hello?
is your name? Like they're going to see us again.
Yeah.
Isn't that pretty
Yeah.
wonderful?
Yes, it's really great. It's so
Boy.
far the community is just so great, and that's why, again, to bring it back to Londonderry, let's have an opportunity for our town
to stay in town and to
stay
play.
in town
Right.
and get the community to play together.
Of
and
all ages.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you think about it too, Londonderry has a lot of going for it. But think of pickleball facility as a capital investment. At my company, every year we're looking for new purchases. What can we do? We're not trying to improve on something we already have the ability to do.
Right.
We want to find something that we can't do right now and get that tool, whatever it might be. And this is an opportunity like that. We don't have pickleball in town.
It's kind of embarrassing at this point. With the
I'm
town
with you,
that is,
100%,
right.
right.
It's supposed to be leading.
Yeah, in health and supporting things
yes.
and what our residents want.
Right.
and-
Is there any area where you guys have already looked into, like where
Oh,
you're
yeah.
thinking that you would
Yes.
like to have the
we've done a
courts?
study, the Pickleball Taskforce, and all of the members have gotten together and viewed all the different town lands where it's possible, and we're leaning towards West Road.
West Road, right?
Yeah.
The land is there,
Yeah.
the space is there. We might have to add some parking,
Yeah.
but it seems like the least
Invasive.
invasive.
Yeah, there were
area.
other spots right behind town hall that costs of land, the
yeah,
trees
that
there,
little- yeah.
but it's a little tight and it would be really invasive for the ball fields on the other side.
On the
And
other
the
side,
parking
yeah.
And
would be
parking
real
would be
tough.
really
Yeah.
tough. So
We're trying to.
It's hard enough now with the parking over there.
Yeah.
Right,
And
on a
we're-
Saturday morning,
Right.
yeah.
And we're working with Parks and Rec on that.
Yeah,
we're
that's great.
going with their recommendation. Their recommendation is West Road.
And we're trying to get local quotes from everybody we've had recommendations from a lot of
Yeah.
companies locally that have good reputations.
that's
and
good.
Right. We talked to Derry, Litchfield, Nashua,
Manchester.
Exeter, Manchester. We talked to
Hudson.
all their
Yep,
Hudson.
yep,
We talked to
everybody
all
around that
their
has this.
town Parks and Rec department to find out maintenance costs. Who do they recommend? Nashua. One of the people that we sent the RFQ to was the one Nashua used. So we've sent it out to solid vendors that have been used for multiple years around this area.
So it seems like pretty much everybody has one except for
Oh,
yeah.
Londonderry.
We
Yeah.
are
And-
surrounded, yes.
and
yes.
Derry is adding 4 more courts, I believe. They're redoing the 2 that are on Pierce Ave, and they're adding 4 more.
And at some point, these surrounding towns are going to not allow other people to
That's
play.
They're going to say,
exactly
do your
right.
own
We're going to
courts.
have a
Yeah.
problem. Yeah.
Litchfield was originally going to build 8, and they only built 6 because they had wetlands issues once they broke ground and all that. Nashua has something
Beautiful
like
courts.
15,
They are
or
beautiful,
15 or
yes.
16 courts
Yeah.
right now, and they're adding more.
And even when
It's
you go up
huge.
north to in the western part of the state, a little town called Newport, and they're struggling financially. They go for a lot of different monies from different places. Struggling area. They have not 1 but 2 main pickleball courts that their residents enjoy.
Oh, yeah.
And it's fascinating. They have a rec center too. These are things that we need to.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah, truly.
When we
Yes.
did the
You
demo
know?
at the Senior Expo, I mean, we had a lot of
Oh,
interest.
you guys were on
and we
fire.
had,
with
we had a
that.
lot of fun with
Oh,
that.
we couldn't even give it a try because it was never a break.
Well,
Deb and I kept looking.
know.
You
like
guys
we were
are
gonna
more
get
than
up there.
welcome. We'll
on
get
the-
you in there.
yes.
But it's just like we did with Mike. So we did play with the town manager and Doug from.
Doug,
Doug
our
called
new
it, yes.
recreational.
And
Yeah.
they had one thing that, okay, so both of them are a lot younger than we are. And,
Speak for yourself.
well, younger than me. And, but one of the things that caught us by surprise was they came there and they said, after a while, after playing for a little bit, they said, I'm sweaty. I didn't expect this.
Yeah, they
You know,
think
I
it's an old
thought
people's
I was going to
Yes, that's
stay
the
cold, and
mistake,
it's like,
right?
and they're running around.
Misconception.
And what really cracked me up was Mike. Mike is a runner. For those of you that don't know, he looks like he's in great shape. He was running all over the place, and he said the next day he had to take an Advil, which I found very amusing, just because that's the way I am. But it was a lot of fun. They did really,
Gave 'em a
really
run
well.
for their money, huh?
Yeah, they did
Yeah,
really well.
right.
So
That's,
I mean, and Margo and I are both instructors. We teach. We teach for Pickleball 603, which is out of Hampstead. It's a new facility. And we are certified coaches, and we taught them, and they had a ball, and we had a lot of fun.
It's so fun to bring our love of pickleball to others.
Others.
And we're just hoping to be able to do that
Now,
soon in
speaking
town.
of love, there's more of a story here that we should share. But I'm not sure, did you meet on the pickleball court? But
We
No, we met
met
at
at racquetball.
racquetball.
at racquetball.
Racquetball.
Yeah.
And then they were married, was it 5 years ago? At 20?
Yeah, 21.
21.
Married at 21.
Right.
In Derry on the pickleball courts.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Erin's going to put up a picture for us, too, of that.
Oh.
But
Instead of a first dance, we had a first pickleball game.
Yeah, that's right.
That is
We
so
were married.
great.
dra-
Tell us about, like, so you
Oh.
it was
Oh,
racquetball,
it was
so
great.
give us a
It was
little.
great.
Well, Billy was.
Some of our
yeah.
friends made us this bouquet. I guess they made it for me. It was a bouquet made out of a pickleball paddle with pickleballs all over it and ribbons.
And ribbons.
Oh,
That
It was
right.
really,
The,
it was fun.
the officiant was a friend of ours, Billy, who lives in Derry, but he's one of our pickleball friends, and he got certified so he could do the official wedding.
He wore a
Yeah.
referee shirt.
We bought him
and
a
he had
referee
whistle,
shirt and a whistle.
and
Could have killed him on that whistle, though.
he had a
It
lot
was
of fun
right.
with the whistle.
Yeah, had too much fun.
That is so great. Right on
It
the
was
court.
Right on
Right
the
on the
court.
court.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
pretty
Yep.
wonderful.
So-
Yeah.
And how it's enriched your lives, like going forward, like on
It's-
your
Yes.
vacations and
Oh,
the
yeah.
community.
We
Yes.
now
You
plan
know.
vacations not around pickleball, but when we're going somewhere, we make sure there's pickleball available and where can we play and when. What's their schedule? So it really works out well. We're going to Maine in a couple of weeks, and we're already looking at where we can go for a
To play.
cup
To
to
play,
play.
right.
What's public
Yeah,
there?
that's so exciting.
So
yeah.
we have fun.
I know you said a little bit about how it got started, but I'm curious, how did it come to be called pickleball?
Oh, good
Oh, so
point.
that's a good
That's a great question.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you want? All right. So what everybody thinks is it was the dog's name was Pickle, and when the ball went in the woods at that original court, they said pickleball, and the dog would run in. However, that's
That's
not the case.
fallacy.
That
It's
is,
not
they
true.
made so they had that, and they actually an announcer on TV made that up just because it sounded like a better story.
my gosh.
So the original pickleball players were a family, and one of the moms went to a college with crew, the scull boats, and they called the second string racers pickles.
It was
So
like a
it was-
conglomerate of all of the
Yeah.
other teams that had spare people, or whatever. They brought them together as one team.
And so
they call
it's
it the
this-
pickle crew.
Oh my
So
gosh.
pickleball is kind of a mixture
Right.
of
Other-
wiffle ball, ping pong, tennis,
Badminton.
Badminton.
So
Yeah.
it's
So
a
it
bunch of-
became
It's-
a
yeah,
hybrid
it's like-
of all those
Right.
together.
Right, it's this melting pot of sports.
And
cool.
someone actually did the work to research about the dog, and they
Yeah.
discovered that the dog, like they went
When the
through
dog
all
was
pictures.
born and all that
The dog came into the family in 1968, but pickleball was created in 1965.
already
so
named,
that it's not about the dog.
I actually do have an article about it because I passed it out at the Senior Expo, but it was
Yeah.
interesting.
That's
But to be honest with you,
Great
until we read that,
question.
I never
didn't
knew
know,
it. We
right.
thought it was the dog thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
great
Yeah.
point.
It's a great story, but
Yeah.
it's apparently not true.
Oh, there you go.
I guess they named the dog after the game.
Yeah.
When
Well,
they got the
there
dog
you
three,
go.
three years later,
So
they named
Pickle
him
did
Pickle.
exist.
Yes,
Yeah, that's,
yes.
Oh, it's great.
It was a
Well,
lot of
we are
fun.
really excited that you're here with us tonight, and we can't wait to give it a try and see. And I can't believe you even have a net for us and all
We
kinds.
do.
have
We
a
can
little
set
up-
demo set up.
Right?
Yeah, Deb and I have been stretching, and we're in here.
yeah, yeah.
You know, we're ready to
Well,
go.
we'll-
We're touching the toes.
We'll demo first, and then you guys can
Oh,
try
yeah,
it.
we'll
Let's do it. How about that?
Perfect.
That's up to you.
Yeah, so we'll take a little break,
Okay.
and then we'll
Get
be
set
back.
up.
Okay, doing a little pickleball demo here. You start off with a dink shot, just a nice little easy shot until somebody makes a
So it's very
mistake.
controlled until someone makes a mistake and hits it too high.
Oh, or too low.
Or too low.
So would that be a point?
Yes.
Yes,
Well,
it'll be my
depends who
point.
served.
So far I'm winning.
She would have won that one too. I won that one.
But as you can see, it really is a fun game.
And it's really, this is just a one section of it. So normally, so the distance between Margo and I would be about 14 feet at this point, either side of the net.
Sorry.
And is there an area you serve from?
Yeah,
Yep,
back
down
court.
at the back of the court. Court is about 44 feet long,
Yep.
20 feet wide.
So it's 22 on either side of the net. So that's where you'd serve from.
We don't have quite enough space here,
Yeah.
but you serve cross court. There's a few rules that you have to learn, but
Just like tennis, you
Yep.
serve opposite corner.
you have to let it bounce once before you can return it. And then when you return it to the serving team, they have to let it bounce once before they can get it.
Oh my gosh. Deb,
it
our
do-
heads are going.
It does, if you have quick hands, it helps. Margo's paddle, I didn't do that, just saying.
It's exciting.
So one of the things that helps sometimes is a lighter paddle.
How many points do you go to?
11.
11 usually.
11. And is there a set like in tennis?
Is there
Like you have, like you play 5 games as a set or 6 games?
It depends. Some of the tournaments, they do best 3 out of 5. Sometimes it's 2 out of 3. But when we're
Singles
playing,
is always 2 out of 3 because it's
it's
hard.
so much more running, yeah.
So, really, that's it. Without
This is a
getting
little
into
nutshell, right?
this is just a teaser to say, look, it's not for grandpa anymore.
No,
But-
it's not. In all
At
ages.
all ages can play, and you, like I said, you make of it what you will. If you're gonna stay still, you try to keep it controlled with your little low dink shots like this.
But one of the things you do is a cooperative drill where you stand very close to each other and give it a, go ahead. Whoops.
Oh, no!
Sorry, Deb. Where you're trying to speed it up.
Oh, you're trying to
You
get it
want,
going.
yeah, this is a
This is a hands
hands
drill.
for us to get faster.
Oh my Lord.
So it's really just, and what we tell people that we teach, our students, this is a shield. There's no reason to get hit with the ball.
Oh,
It's a shield. So,
Anticipate where the ball is
Yeah.
going and try to put your paddle
keep
there.
your, and your ready position is always up. So that when you're playing, you're up here. You're not carrying. That was a problem I had with racquetball. Racquetball, you carry low because you hit the ball 2 inches off the ground. Pickleball, you want the paddle up here.
Nice shot.
Anyway,
That's
really,
it in a nutshell.
that's about it.
That's your little
Very
demo.
good.
That's incredible.
Do you wanna try?
Boy.
Just
This
like
way.
a
I
little
thought it was
bounce.
going this way. You're doing backhand, which is fine.
Yes, it should bounce.
This is
Yes,
like-
on this. It doesn't have to, but on this we're just little. That's it.
That's it.
Nice.
There, you're done. You just had your first pickleball shot. So now you just give it one of those.
Oh, this
Underhand.
way or this way?
Other way.
so Steve?
This way.
Yep.
On this, we're doing little dink
This is
shots. It
just-
should bounce.
It can bounce,
Nice
but
and
it doesn't
Oh,
have to.
sorry.
It's such a light, literally, it's this movement.
When we teach,
Oh my
one of
God,
the things
that's
we
funny.
teach, it's called PPR, has a hand-to-hand. So it's merely, put your paddle down for a minute.
I'll take
This
it.
is the first lesson.
Ball to
Oh,
ball.
okay.
Ball to
Ball
ball.
to ball. And you're gonna catch it out in front of you, just like
Okay.
this. You're gonna be doing this in a minute. And all I'm doing is tossing it.
That's
That's
it.
how hard
Now
you
you
have to
toss
hit
with
it.
one hand.
So now toss it back to me.
That's your, just with one hand though.
That's it.
Oh,
That's
that's
the
what
movement.
Deb and I
training.
That's
This
your
is the
movement.
first
That's your
lesson.
movement. One hand.
Lesson number 1. Now
Toss it with one hand.
Lesson number 1.
That's
You
your
toss
movement.
it.
When you put your
Oh,
paddle,
it's
it's the same
high.
exact
Yeah.
movement.
Should I be back here?
About
Yes.
there is fine, yeah.
Okay, so just toss it.
Yep.
See how easy
That's your
it is?
movement.
You don't have to hit
Oh, what a
Yep.
difference.
it. Right.
Yeah.
Which is why we do it
That's
this
it.
way. Let it bounce.
Oh, let it bounce. Oh,
Let
sorry.
it bounce. I
Let it
didn't give you
bounce.
much room.
Good.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That's it.
My goodness.
One more time, each.
This is
Now
therapeutic.
put your,
So it's really, I know it seems very
now you put the
pathetic.
paddle
Now,
in.
put
Same
the paddle
thing.
in the hand and do the same thing.
Just gentle.
Nice and easy.
Oh, easy.
That's
Good.
it. You
Good.
got it though.
Oh,
That's it.
So I actually could do this.
Yes,
I
you
think.
could. Absolutely.
So there's not a lot.
You know,
to it.
someone my age, a little bit out of shape,
Right,
but everything, we
right.
could do this, right?
Anyone can do it.
Perfect.
Nice.
Well,
I should have been.
Well, I would have backed up, but I.
You had nowhere to go.
So, but
And you
reality
wanna go-
check, that's
But
that's
technique-
lesson number
yeah.
1, is it's really just,
Gentle.
A gentle little bump.
you don't have to hit it
But
hard.
it's
That's nice,
but
Deb.
it's
That's
strategy.
nice.
That's really
Oh.
But it's a strategy to it too, because it's
Yes.
easier to whack it, but it's harder
It
to
is,
be
but in
control.
certain times, if you whack it and it goes out, you lose the point.
Right. See, so it's
And
control.
remember, it's
more
half
difficult.
the length of a tennis court. So hitting it long,
It's just like this we did, right?
yes.
Yep, just a little toss. You can bounce it first if you want to, or there you go. That's it.
Good.
Oh,
Nice.
Perfect.
Nice.
All right.
sorry.
Well, you guys would meet Mike anytime.
That was great.
job.
though. Thank you
It's-
guys.
it's- so it's really
That
not
was fun,
hard.
Debbie.
It just-
Nice.
That gives me encouragement to.
So we're back. I'm exhausted. That's okay. We just wanted to ask you as a wrap up, just
give us a little idea on what the town's thinking as far as you know, the future of pickleball, what you've heard already. Maybe you could talk about what you're hoping to get for input from people or whatever, and how they can contact you guys.
We, if we get the plan that we have proposed, there's the towns in the area do a pickleball association, and they charge a small fee for the year. With members can play anytime they want to, and that cost has been covering all of the ongoing maintenance. So it's really no burden on the town,
right?
And that is our goal. And we want to just bring this opportunity to the town to be able to play and enjoy this great sport. And we'd like to hear from town members, positive or negative. Just we'd like to hear your support and what you're thinking. And you can do that by clicking on the website.
Town website, and then go to
Pickleball Forum?
the Pickleball Task Force. It's under, I can't
Recreation,
remember.
maybe recreation.
No, it's in the
It's,
second column from the left. I don't remember which one it is.
So go to
I think it's under
LondonderryNH.org.
all, when you go under all for the, after town boards and commissions, everything, I think it's under that
It's
one
down,
part.
it's down the
yeah.
bottom of that column,
Yeah.
second to the bottom.
Perfect. So
And what you,
Londonderry,
you're going to be able to put this up, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what we have done is designed a facility, and we put it out for RFQ, for request for quote from various vendors. We already mentioned that, but we have a 10-court and a 6-court design that had gone out, and we're hoping that, people will approve it and be interested. The 8 courts would be 6 courts would be better than nothing. 6 courts is what Litchfield has, and they are already
Full
backed up
every
and
day.
full every day. And that's starting at, I'll say, 8 a.m. until dark. And that's, you know, so this, I think we can do better than 6. I really do. And so we are looking for the support, like Margo said, if we can get some input from the town of what you like and what you don't like. And we happily accept negative information as well. It's all a plus. Feedback is a gift. If you don't tell us how you feel, we'll never know.
Right.
So, but we can press forward.
And I think without getting into any specifics, of course, at this time, the burden is not going to be on the town completely, the taxpayers for this. And
Right.
so there are options that you're
Yes.
looking into,
Yes.
and
Yep.
that's all going to come in the future once
Yes.
things are, you know, found out about.
Exactly.
So maybe other people, if you have ideas on how monies can come for that, it's not going to be something that is totally a burden for the
Right.
taxpayers, which I think a lot of people are worried about
Right.
too.
Our
now.
goal
Exactly.
is actually not
No
to have
burden.
the
No burden
taxpayers
at all to
pay
the taxpayer.
anything.
That's
Right.
what would
Absolutely.
That's
We're
wonderful.
taxpayers too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Yes.
That's right, because you live right
Right.
there.
So,
That's
I
right.
mean, ultimately, if we can do this properly, we don't need taxpayer money at all.
And you'll
That's-
have the membership fee too.
And we
that you
will,
said, which
the
is
membership fee
wonderful.
covers the annual maintenance, which is negligible. Nashua says they don't even record the maintenance fees, and they have something like 15 to 18 courts, because it's nothing for them. They don't have to worry about it. So one thing before you say, why don't we just paint lines on the tennis courts? Because you can't do that in this town, because then the school cannot use them for meets. The tennis court, if the line, it's something to do with a high school scholastic athletic program or something, is where they're not allowed to have additional lines on the tennis courts. So it would not do any good.
Yeah, we looked into that with the senior resource
Yeah.
committee
Yeah.
originally,
We were
and
big
we found
proponents
out.
of
Yeah,
that,
we
and
found
then
out
we
we couldn't
learned
really
that,
do too
yeah,
much with that. So,
absolutely.
but this is great. You guys are
Yeah.
doing a wonderful job,
Yeah.
and the task force is awesome. So
Yes.
And
Yeah,
it's
we
all
try.
good
It's a lot of
Yeah.
people
Yep.
Yeah.
trying to help.
Yeah.
And, you know, if we can get it into town, that'd be wonderful.
Right. And remember too, they're all volunteers. So all this time for them tonight, the meetings that you have, being at the Senior Expo, volunteers are
The
making this
research, everything,
happen,
yeah.
Yep.
happening for our town and for every age group and all different levels of ability. So we are thrilled that you came on to the Londonderry View with us to
Thank you
share
for having us.
about the joys of pickleball and the health benefits, and we look forward to cutting that ribbon when it finally is in and
Definitely.
ready to go.
And you've both
So-
had your first lesson.
And we
Yes.
had our first lesson.
now I have no excuse. I have to
That's right.
take it up.
So we will say good night. We thank you all for watching and be safe.